Welcome back. There's a live look outside from the Oregon coast. Our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Growing up with a mother suffering from bipolar disorder, our next guest experienced years of abuse, neglect, and trauma. Despite her difficult start, she's found a path to healing and wants to help others do the same. We welcome the author of Chaos in Color, Dr. Layla Salek. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You share a lot of really tough childhood stories in this book. What was it like for you to kind of dig into those memories? It must have been scary at times, but was it therapeutic for you at all?
It was very therapeutic. I made certain that I wrote explicitly about the trauma that was in my book so that people could see if I could forgive that, then I'm hoping that they too can forgive people that are in their lives that have caused some hurt. When I finished writing, I felt like 60 pounds had been lifted off of me.
That's amazing. And you actually have some really good concrete advice for people who are struggling to forgive and heal and move forward, beginning with calling everything by its right name. Tell me about what that means.
Yes, these steps are, the healing process that I went through to forgive my mother and others. And call everything by its right name is really having a very honest inspection of the facts of the experience so that you know your responsibility in it as well as theirs. Really having clarity. It's just getting clarity on what goes on instead of just blaming the other person and running a story in your head.
And then building off of that, just knowing that it's okay to feel your emotions.
Yes, what we do so much in this society is escape, and we use many different means of escaping. But what we have found as psychologists is that what you resist persists. So you need to have some type of practice around sitting and feeling your emotions and releasing them.
Yeah, and you talk about practicing presence. I think this is the one that a lot of us find so challenging in our daily lives, finding those moments of peace and quiet to reflect. How are you able to do that?
Yes, I set aside an hour every single morning where I just sit and get very still and silent and pray, meditate, become very present. I get myself present throughout the day, kind of doing the same thing, just making sure that I'm aware and present in what I'm feeling so that I don't store it anymore. Once you get rid of all these past emotions, you want to make sure you're not storing them again.
Yeah, and then forgiving everyone for everything, literally not qualifying certain things as more hurtful than others, and that's really tough to do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the hardest when people hear that. And I would have said, had I not gone through this process, I probably would have had a few things that I would have said, no, I can't forgive. But truly, what I've learned over the years with my experience and training in psychology is that hurt people hurt people. And really, they're not doing it intentionally. And most of the time, it's unconsciously. And they're hurting the worst on the inside. And so that experience is spilling over to you. And so those are the people that need the most love and forgiveness.
Yeah, and then when you go through those steps, that kind of opens you up to let go and move forward and experience new positive and new love in your life.
Yes, and that is kind of where I am now, is the letting go and just laughing and loving as much as possible. I'm a firm believer that God has put people in your orbit, and those are the ones that you are supposed to make sure that you don't leave behind, that you forgive them and help them heal. Put your oxygen mask on first by getting present and letting go of your emotions, and then help them as well.
Well, and I think a lot of people can relate to your experience having either a parent or a loved one live with some type of either undiagnosed or untreated mental illness. Have you heard from people since the book has come out and saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much for writing about this. I thought that I was alone in this experience.
Yes, the response has been truly overwhelming, absolutely beautiful. And I love, people come to my signings and readings and they'll buy like 10 books and say they're passing them out to their families. Many of them have told me that they're now able to have conversations that they've never had before. And truly, that's all I could want from this book.
That's really special. Hey, before we let you go, I'm curious tell us about your ability to see people as color. It kind of weaves its way throughout the book. What is that like for you as a day-to-day experience?
Well, I didn't really know that I was unique until grad school, which is quite funny. I thought everybody could do it. The only thing that I thought was weird is I don't see everybody with a color. 99% of people, it's just like a white light outline. But I do have a few people in my life, and there's really no rhyme or reason. Some of my favorite people don't have a color. But it definitely it's helpful because I can see moods. The color will get lighter as they're happier and darker as they're, sad. And it was wonderful to write because when I had a hard time describing something, I just use colors.
For sure. You make your connections however they work for you. Hey, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. The book again is Chaos in Color, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.